Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to The Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Ballerina, okay? I went to go see the movie this weekend, opening weekend. Been a fan of the John Wick universe for a very long time. I love Ana de Armas's work. I have been a fan of hers for a very long time. And when I first found out, which I got it wrong when I reacted to her trailer for her movie, I thought she was already in the John Wick universe, but I got that confused with the 007. She was actually in 007 No Time to Die. I don't know how I got that mixed up, but it was just so long since I watched a John Wick movie and a 007 movie that inevitably was what happened. But I watched the trailers, I was hyped for it and I wanted to see it. Being a fan of John Wick and being a fan of Ana de Armas's work, I was wanting to see what she had in store for the role. And I was interested because I knew the budget was like $80 million. And I was wanting to see what the film was going to make. So it only made $25 million. But let's put this into context. We are going to read the article together. Okay. In an article by Variety, Lilo & Stitch beats Ballerina at the box office as John Wick spinoff debuts to $25 million. Ballerina couldn't twirl its way. Well, this is what the article states. Ballerina couldn't twirl its way to the top of the box office charts. The John Wick spinoff, starring Ana de Armas as a dancer turned assassin, launched slightly behind expectations with $25 million from 3,400 North American theaters. The R-rated film opened in second place behind Disney's Lilo & Stitch, which claimed a number one spot for the third consecutive weekend with $32.5 million from 4,000 venues. The live-action reboot has generated $335.8 million domestically and $772 million globally. And there's more here. And I'm going to play this B-roll for you guys. Ballerina earned a lackluster $26 million from 82 countries at the international box office for a global start of $51 million. Heading into the weekend, Lionsgate predicted a domestic debut of $30 million for Ballerina. But even that would have been middling since the film cost $90 million to produce. Lionsgate typically covers 2/3 of its production budgets with international sales, which helps offset underperforming theatrical titles. However, the studio hopes that Ballerina will be the first of many John Wick spinoffs, in order to justify the burgeoning, sprawling cinematic universe. Lionsgate needs moviegoers to care about the series without Keanu Reeves, who has played the professional hitman in 4 films, as the main draw. Despite positive audience scores, the film earned an A-, and that's more of just talking about the movie. We're not going to get that deep into it, okay? Am I shocked that it only made $25 million? Not necessarily. It deserved more because I thought the movie was great. And we'll talk about my thoughts of the movie after we talk about its pretty lackluster performance at the box office. I'm not shocked because it's not a John Wick movie. I'm not shocked because I thought, for me personally, the marketing wasn't the best. They didn't really do a good job putting the movie out there. We've seen a lot of Fantastic Four and Superman stuff on Twitter and other social medias, given those are bigger IPs than what John Wick is in the John Wick franchise. But still, I really did think that the marketing for this movie was not the best. Wasn't a lot of trailers, wasn't a lot of social media I wouldn't say discourse, just people actually talking about the upcoming project. And for them to say in the article, which I didn't know, that they were expecting $30 million and for them to only make $5 million shy You can't really be mad. The one thing this movie has going for it, for a majority of people, the majority of the people loved it as far as audience score. It had a 93 rating on Rotten Tomatoes the last time I checked. And it was in the 70s, like mid to low 70s is the critic score. And it seems that a lot of the people who are in the media space and critics of the movies and people on content creators and everybody else who discuss the movies, I have seen nothing but positive reactions about the film. Me personally, I had a relatively good time. So with the positive word of mouth going on with this for this film, there might be a situation why it might have a long-lasting stance at the box office. Another reason why, which it was actually in this article. Yes, I forgot to point this out. Let's actually discuss this. This was something interesting. Ballerina actually did better than the first couple of John Wick movies at the box office opening weekend. Here's the numbers. After the original 2014's John Wick opened to 14 million, it soared. The franchise soared in popularity with 2017's John Wick 2 soaring to a $30.4 million opening. Then John Wick 3 opened to 56 million, and then John Wick 4 opened to 78 million. So, to put that in perspective, the very first John Wick film that they made only made 14 million bucks. And then the second one only made 30 million bucks. So, in hindsight, you made a movie. It had Keanu Reeves in it for a little bit. When you marketed the movie, you made sure to put him put him in some way, form, or fashion in the marketing to let people know, okay, the Baba Yaga is actually going to be in this film. And you still made more money in your opening weekend than the first John Wick movie. And you made what you predicted was $30 million, and that's what your second John Wick 2 film made. And you performed just slightly less than that with a sequel movie that is not a part, I mean, it's part of the John Wick universe, but it's not a part of the main John Wick story. It's a sequel starring Ana de Armas. Winston was in there slightly to a small degree. And the fellow who passed away who plays the clerk, the guy who works at the front desk as well, he's one of the founding members of the John Wick universe. He was in it as well. And then John Wick was in it for a significant amount of time, in my opinion, for a standalone film for Ana de Armas. And you still came out making a good film. It was shot well. Special effects were great outside of some CGI stuff. I know you guys will probably see it when you watch the movie, especially with one specific car scene. I wouldn't say very early on, but early on in the movie, it was hokey looking. You could tell it was computer generated. But outside of that, there was even an interesting fact, and I found this on the John Campea show when I was watching. The flamethrower scene was real. There was no CGI whatsoever during the flamethrower scene. The only CG that Lionsgate said that they used was on the faces of the actors who were getting hit by the flamethrower. But I know, obviously, Ana de Armas didn't perform the flamethrower stunt. But the flamethrower stuff was real. That was fascinating to know. Although I do think, even though it was cool, I thought the flamethrower scene, me personally, was drawn out a little too much for me. That's just one specific critique of mine. But we're about to discuss that more in depth. But specifically for this news, I don't want to consider this a flop. I don't. I know we got the discourse going on online about the girl boss stuff that a lot of people love to talk about. I get it. There's been a lot of movies that have been highlighted by women being at the forefront of roles in movies have not been performing as well. We can go back to the Marvels, Furiosa, and so many other films And one big one that is coming up in Fantastic Four, a lot of news is coming out, especially this tease that Sue Storm and the female Silver Surfer are going to be at the forefront at the end of the movie defeating Galactus, but we're waiting to see how that goes. That is also going to be another Girl Boss movie. And I think that might be some of the reason why the movie didn't perform well. Some people thought the idea of, okay, Keanu Reeves was not, it's not Keanu Reeves, it's a woman. It's Ana de Armas. She's not going to be nowhere near as cool as the Baba Yaga. I get it. I mean, some people were going to say that. And it's in some people's minds. Only the general audience could have thought that. I imagine people who are fans of the John Wick universe, who are John Wick extraordinaires, they went out to go see the movie like I did. Because for me, for movies, when it comes to movies that I don't generally love outside of Marvel and DC, even some Marvel properties now, I don't even see it on this opening weekend. But for me to go see this movie on opening weekend, I mean, that lets you know that if you were a John Wick fan, you were going to go see the movie. But I don't want to, I know the girl boss thing is what a lot of people was going to point towards when it comes to why this movie performed bad. I think that might be 30% of the reason why, maybe 25%. But I don't want to get carried away with that being the focal reason why the movie didn't do well. I just thought, me personally, I don't think the movie was marketed well at all. And I think that's really it. As far as the movie itself, the movie was good. And I think that the movie is going to pick up traction by good word of mouth. And I'm just going to leave that there. But to get to the movie, and just for me personally, I'm going to just go ahead and describe how I enjoyed the movie. The movie was good. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I don't want to keep you guys all here all day with this portion of the podcast. The movie was good. It's not great. It was very action-packed. It really reminded me of John Wick 3. It had similar similarities to it, to where she's on the run. I mean, she's not technically on the run, but she's fighting somebody or fighting somebody, running away from somebody, or trying to find somebody the whole movie for the most part. I would have probably preferred a little less action, more character building and story building. Even the side plots they have with the sister thing, that felt like it was unnecessary and just a plot hole out of this world. And that's the forefront part of they could have did better. The acting was great. Special effects were great outside of the one car scene that I was talking about. That was horribly bad. The story was basic. Again, that's what I knew I forgot something. The story was very basic. Weren't a lot of character building. The story was relatively easy to follow, straight to the point, which you can't be mad about that. If I had to rate it out of 10, 7.5. It is something that I would watch again. I would actually probably buy just for it to go along with the John Wick universe. I think it's possibly a good watch with your friends and family. If you just want to watch something new that you ain't watched in a while, like me and my family does, it's rewatchable. I can say that it is actually rewatchable. I got to give them credit. It is not easy to make Elseworld projects that does not focally involve the character in John Wick, and you made a movie, although it had John Wick in it to a significant amount of time and to a significant degree, and Keanu Reeves did a great job. Everything they done with that. I know they teased the fight scene in the marketing for the movie, and I would have been totally pissed off if she would have beat John Wick in any sort of way, but they didn't do that. They didn't lean on the girl boss thing. She got her rump kicked by John Wick, and she got her rump kicked throughout the movie a lot, especially early on when she's getting used to doing the spy thing and the hitman thing. So that was great. Thank you, Lionsgate, for not going stupid and thinking that she all of a sudden is going to beat the man, because he's the man. He felt like the Baba Yaga in this movie. The way he went about himself, the way the people in the town, especially the dude who Ana de Armas was trying to kill, he was like, when they sent John Wick to try and kill her, he was like, okay, they brought the Baba Yaga, we're good. So they made John Wick feel like John Wick. Round of applause. Fantastic. I loved it. And although they could have did better on a lot of things, specifically with the story, I thought the fight scene with the flamethrower was a little drawn out. She had her own, I know they were trying to give her her own fighting style. It seemed like, I believe they were leaning heavier on the pistols and knives and things of that nature. She rarely used an assault rifle at all. Maybe they try to differentiate her fighting sequences from John Wick's, because John Wick actually used a semi-automatic or a sniper rifle. He was using one of the two, and then she was relatively using knives, axes, things of that nature. She was more of a scrappy type of fight style. She was kind of fighting with whatever she found, because she was, throughout majority of the movie, and specifically mostly from the middle end of the movie, she's pretty much fighting with whatever she gets her hands on. She comes in weaponless for the majority of the movie. She doesn't have her own weapons. So, but I don't want to get drawn this movie review out too much. The movie is great. Well, sorry. The movie is good. It's not great. It is something I could possibly go to the movie to see again, just because I'm a fan. It is a movie that I would buy and that I would rewatch every once in a while. It could be in the movie categories I watch every once in a while. And it is a movie that I recommend people to go watch. If you love an action-packed film and you want to be entertained, this is the movie for you. And any of those who are watching and listening now, I want you to go support this movie. It deserves more support than what it is given. Because I know a lot of people were saying that about Thunderbolts. And I'm going to tell you right now, this movie here is way better than Thunderbolts in every aspect and way. And I know Thunderbolts flopped at the box office, but it deserved to flop because, in my opinion, it was not a good movie. In this sense, go see Ballerina. It's a good movie. They don't lean heavy into the girl boss crap. Okay? It is it felt like a movie that was old cinema from 7 years, pre-COVID cinema. That's how we could categorize it. Pre-COVID cinema. It had no political agenda in it. In no real world problems. It was a fictional story with fictional characters. And it was a fun time. Sign me up for movies like that. Thank you, Lionsgate, for making a great movie. I know you guys technically did not perform it like you would want, but I think you are going to get great word of mouth, and your film is going to make some good money. And I think you're going to pick up, like y'all said, the majority of y'all's movies pick up a lot of international money. So that may bring y'all in more influx there. So I think you could possibly break even. I don't see a film that is going to profit, sadly. But it was a good movie, and I had a good time. What did you guys think about The Ballerina? Did you guys go out and watch it this weekend? Did you guys enjoy it? What did you guys think about the movie only making $25 million? Did you think it flopped? Although I personally don't think it flopped. I want to know all of your comments down below.